so real. Already know exactly how you feel. See the head, not like seeing a steeple. You damn well know they're one of the people. Nobody breaks us, 'cause nobody made us, and no one can take this 'cause we got their fix. We are the people, we are the people, we are the people. Don't mess with this.
Oh, yeah, we are here. It is Patrick and the People, and it is Tuesday, and man, we got a great one for you today. Of course, Rich Rockwell is here.
Yes,
Rich,
sir. Good
one
morning.
fall. And then our good friend, look who just popped in, Luke Shoemaker's here.
Luke!
Buddy, how y'all doing?
Man, I'm good, buddy. How about you?
Oh, just chilling, man. Just chilling. Stoked to be here, man. I flew out yesterday for some stuff happening tomorrow, and yeah, man, I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad we can make it work.
Yeah, man. Big thanks yesterday to Tasha for coming in. That was great to have her on the show. She was a lot of fun. Everybody enjoyed her being on the show. So I went over to I fell, to the advertisers yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah, I went to Success Vision Express, baby.
Oh, okay. There you go, man.
The jingle was in my head. I said I got to get some glasses, and so I
I'm
went
liking
over
them, man.
there.
They look good.
Yeah, man, they're fine. They're glasses. They work. They help me see better. I know that.
Right.
Now
Now I can see how ugly we all think you look.
That's right. That's exactly right. Now, it was great because I was sitting there, and the first guy that came in was a young guy, and he's just kind of doing the pre-workup, And he says, man, anybody ever talk to you about cataracts? And I was like, what? What do you mean cataracts, bro?
Right.
Are you going to talk to me about cataracts, bro? and he made me nervous. I'm like, what? And he said, have you been having any blurred vision or anything? I said, no. Well, I said, how would I know, really?
I mean, true.
I only have my vision. I can't tell you what your vision looks like. Is it blurry compared to yours? I don't know. But the doctor came in, and I was like, listen, man, this guy's got me on pins and needles. He said, no. He goes, listen, he said, it looks like long-term, maybe 10 years down the road or longer, you may have to have a cataract surgery. He says, there's nothing right now that's imminent or problematic. And I was like, okay, I'll live with that. I mean, if I can kick the can that far down the road, anything, I could be dead by then, so I don't even have to worry.
Man, I didn't think cataract surgery was like that intense or anything, though.
No, it probably isn't. It's just, it's like,
I don't know, man. The thought of a lightsaber going in my eye, it doesn't sit well with me.
just when you hear cataract, you think, old-ass people, and I hate to say that, but that's how you feel about it,
I get that.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that.
Is this your first time ever having to wear glasses, then?
No. I should have been wearing them for some time. I've had them, but about 3 years ago, I broke my glasses and just said, screw it.
Gotcha, okay.
And I finally said, I can't say that anymore. I really need
You
to see
really need
better.
them, yeah.
I really need to see. It's better to know where you're going.
Well, I remember, when I first found out I had to wear glasses and I got my first pair and put them on, I was like, oh, my God.
No.
I didn't realize that I was actually that blind.
It is great to be able to see the words on the TV again.
Right,
That's
right.
fantastic, Yeah.
I'd be lost without mine.
No, it's so much better, and especially for driving like at night or whatever, because I have an astigmatism that's, pretty good.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what that is,
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
it is. It's it's where your cornea is not smooth. It's got facets in it, and so when bright light comes in, it reflects and refracts and does all this, and so it just
Get the nice beams of light coming off of all the headlights
from
coming
every
at you.
direction. If it's dark and raining.
Oh, yeah. That's when I feel like I'm on the Millennium Falcon, man.
No,
Straight up, though.
I'm real anxious. I'll tell you that.
Straight up.
All right, let's get to a little news you can use, then we'll talk to Luke a little bit, see what's going on with him and all of his exciting stories. Zuckerberg took the stand yesterday as a major antitrust trial involving Facebook got underway in D.C. The Federal Trade Commission accuses them of creating a monopoly, buying up Instagram and WhatsApp to keep a lid on competition. If they're successful in convincing the judge, it would cause Meta to break up and spin off the platform. So we'll see what happens there. What else is going on here that you give a damn about?
I can finally hear out of my left ear.
Oh, can you? That's great.
It just kicked in.
That is great. Beyonce and Jay-Z's names dropped from the lawsuit that claimed they were witnesses to the sex assault of a guy at Diddy's parties. Montero Joseph named the couple in the complaint filed earlier this month. According to TMZ, the change was made after Jay-Z's attorneys warned the legal team about making false allegations. Well, yeah, why did you name them and then take them off if they weren't really there? That makes me question everything about what you have to say. I don't know. I mean, I do think Diddy's a scumbag and probably did a lot of bad things, but, it doesn't help if you bullshit. Let's see what's going on. Oh, man. The investigation into the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife resulted in some surprise findings. CNN obtained copies of the Department of Public Health records, and there were multiple dead rodents and rodent nests in the 8 outbuildings on the couple's property. She died from a virus that was transmitted via rodent. The assessment did say the risk of contaminating it was low inside the home itself, but they were old as hell, and I think the house was kind of getting overrun.
Gotcha.
I think he was kind of somewhat estranged from his kids or whatever. They weren't really close, and I don't think anybody came around except those two.
Still,
that makes sense.
Yeah, a former gravedigger in Sicily figured out how to creatively make money. Now he's in jail. The former gravedigger and 18 others accused of reselling burial sites after removing the corpses that they'd already buried. Police claim 3 funeral parlors were involved. The gravedigger also accused of stealing jewelry from the dead. Well, in fairness, I mean, who's going to see it? You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of wasted on them, isn't it? Ben Affleck complained dating can be hard. Yeah, suck it. Didn't you just divorce J-Lo, bro, or whatever it was? I mean, you broke up with her. I mean, for God's sake, man. I mean, how am I going to feel sorry for you? You hooked up with J-Lo. Stop it. Air traffic officially back, according to new research from the Airports Council International, finds that in 2024, global passenger numbers finally beat 2019 after years of pandemic disruption. So last year, 9.5 billion people flew worldwide.
Wow.
That's about 4% over 2019, 9% more than 2023. That is a lot of damn flying. Now, so what's the busiest airport in the United States?
Atlanta.
That is correct, sir. Ding, ding.
Wow.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you've ever been in it, you understand.
Oh, absolutely.
That thing, I don't know how big it is, but I know you have to take trams from one side to the other.
Straight up.
And it is, I mean, it's not a short tram. That place is massive. And, boy, but if you get a layover there, lots of stuff to see.
You'd laugh at me, man. I fly enough that every time I fly through Atlanta, I go to the same Longhorn Steakhouse. Dude, and I sit at the same table. I have the same waitress every time.
No, that's great, man. Is she still there?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Must
Yeah.
make pretty good money then.
Yeah, I've been going to that Longhorn for years, man.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Every time I have a layover there.
Actually, let me see if this is right. Is that? It is. That is not the country. It's the world's busiest airport.
Really?
believe it.
Wow.
Atlanta,
I
yeah,
believe
the
it, yeah.
world. The second busiest airport in the world, Dubai International.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there's a guy on TikTok, and he decided to extrapolate on this question a little bit and say, what is the most used toilet at any airport in the
wow.
world? So he did the math on which toilet has probably seen the most traffic.
I bet the numbers were not. They were insane, weren't
Oh,
they?
dude, yeah, it was wild.
That is.
He's on TikTok. I forget the guy's name, or else
That's
I'd say
hilarious.
who. But yeah,
He's gonna do a math equation to figure out how many times that shitter's been used. That's
Yeah,
great.
straight up.
Talking to the press yesterday, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Fire Chief Brian Interline called the firebomb attack on Governor Josh Shapiro an act of domestic terrorism. 38-year-old Cody Ballmer of Harrisburg scaled a 7-foot fence, broke a window through Molotov cocktails, ignited many fires, later turned himself in, confessed to the attack, expressing he wanted to hurt the governor with a sledgehammer. He's been charged with attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson, and aggravated assault. If you saw his picture, it's exactly what you would expect from that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his picture and I went, yep, that makes sense. Pretty much adds up. Another day, another possible tariff exemption. Trump announced yesterday he's considering a temporary exemption on the 25% tariffs on imported vehicles and parts. He said automakers need additional time to restructure their international supply chain and shift production to the U.S. The consideration of the pause follows his earlier decision to grant temporary exemptions for certain electronics like smartphones and computers. Let's see. A 5.2 magnitude earthquake struck in San Diego. The tremor felt across Southern California, reached as far as L.A. No reports of any injuries or damage. It's pretty normal for them to have those there. You probably think, man, it sounds like they're having a lot. Now you just hear about it a lot more. To be honest, they're always having a lot there. We'll talk about that later. Quick thinking action by a bystander and a locomotive engineer saved a driver whose vehicle was stuck on train tracks moment before the train came through. The engineer feathered the train's brakes, slowing down enough to give the driver time to escape with the help of a nearby citizen. Local authorities praised the bystander and engineer for preventing what could have been a tragic outcome. Doesn't say why the driver was stuck in the car on the tracks with the train coming. I mean, you kind of look out the window and go, yeah, let me get out. A Chase Bank manager in Westlake, Ohio, prevented an elderly couple from losing $17,000. They recognized signs of a scam and contacted police. The couple were misled into thinking they needed the money for legal issues, but realized the truth after speaking with cops. Authorities took the opportunity to remind people be wary of anyone requesting payment via gift cards or cryptocurrency. Yes, no, definitely be wary of that. Yeah, no, can you pay me an iTunes gift cards? Nah, I'm not doing it. Before a recent New York Knicks game, power forward Karl Anthony Towns surprised a young fan. His name's Calvin Marr. He awarded him a $60,000 Garden of Dreams Foundation scholarship. The scholarship was presented as part of the Knicks community outreach efforts will help him pursue a degree in musical theater at SUNY Albany. The act, The act is part of Towns' broader commitment to lowering barriers to education through his family's foundation. Well, that's great if you're giving out scholarships. I think that's great. Are you ready for some new Hellstorm music?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've announced their new single, Darkness Always Wins. It's supposed to pop next week. It'll be on their 6th studio album that's scheduled to be released later this year. They said they did some things differently. Lizzie Hell talks about the unconventional recording process, said the band wrote and recorded songs simultaneously without traditional demos. She says the more raw method of recording gave them a more spontaneous and authentic creation process, resulting in some of the heaviest, most resonant tracks they've ever produced. So it goes live next Tuesday. They're a pretty great band.
Oh, yeah, they're killer, dude. And they're local to Nashville, too, man. And
Yeah.
we've got some mutual friends. Like my guy at Gibson, Aljon, he also works with Hailstorm because they're on Gibson, too.
Yeah.
And everything I've heard about them is just universally, they're the nicest people on the
Man,
planet.
you know, among all the different, rock stars that I was fortunate, blessed to meet, talk to, whatever, she is among the nicest.
Oh, I
She's
believe
in my top 5 because she hugged my neck like I was a neighbor, bro.
No, straight up.
And she was just so nice, so humble, so down to earth for someone who is such a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but she's a fairly attractive lady.
And they just keep on, raising the bar too with the music, man. Like,
Yeah.
Last year when I went to Louder Than Life with the boys, man, Hailstorm came out on stage before we went to go hang out with Corey.
Yeah.
And dude, her voice, man, like it still holds up.
It's power, man.
Oh,
it's
dude.
raw power. She's like the Wilson girls, from Heart or whatever.
Oh yeah, and like it just continually gets better every time. There was 60,000 people in the crowd, and she had every one of them in just the palm of her hand.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's a dynamic performer on top of everything else. I mean,
absolutely.
she's really active.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, the cutthroat cowboys were on the loose, and in Walmart, I was talking about this late yesterday. They arrested 4 guys who went into the superstore on horseback Tuesday evening. 2 of the riders turned themselves into police when word got out about their emotional support horse stunt. This sounds like something Luke could come up with.
Wait, what?
They rode horses into Walmart and said they were emotional support horses.
Dude, that's the next bit y'all are doing.
No, it's definitely not because these guys went to jail.
Dude, you know how funny that would be, though, bro.
I don't know if they think it's funny or not, but reports say their motivation for riding into a Walmart began and ended with some guy named Luke Shoemaker saying it would be fun. I don't know.
That's hilarious, dude. Emotional support horses.
Emotional support horse. That's great. And they, You know, they probably didn't really mean it, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on here.
That's amazing.
A case of perceived bad attitudes has resulted in the arrest of Edward Cocaine. That is his legal name, Edward Cocaine. I mean, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you keep that name. I don't know how nobody in the history of the Cocaine family said maybe we should change our name. I don't know.
If that's your name, do you keep it or do you rock with it?
No, I keep it.
Yeah, yeah.
While at a Subway restaurant in Merritt Island, Florida, Cocaine got into it with employees, eventually was said to have pulled out a knife to back up his side of the dispute. A sheriff's report said Cocaine became so irate with employees that was yelling at them from across the counter. That wasn't enough. Fortunately, there was a reporter, another guy present with cocaine, the man, not the drug, who was able to restrain him before that was used in a more serious manner.
That's wild.
Eventually, deputies were able to track down Cocaine, the man, not the drug, and arrest him on charges of aggravated assault, burglary with assault and battery. It's not known what happened to get Cocaine so wired.
Dude, all I gotta say is whoever wrote that little blurb was sitting there going, "Yes, finally, this is great.
Is me. This is me. Yeah. No, you're right.
Amazing.
This is the day I've been waiting for all my life."
And it's what they do at Subway, man. Like, cause I always leave Subway happier, dude. That's my spot to go get a
Oh, you
sandwich.
like the sub? Yeah.
Hell no.
I've got one right across from my apartment, man. They see my truck in the parking lot. They already start making my food.
They
They
start
know what's
making it.
up. Yeah.
You said-
Latasha said, "Can I bring
said
my
it all,
emotional support cottonmouth snake in?"
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
No.
No, bring it up. Bring it up. No, it needs to be in a cage, but yeah, or whatever container you got. But yeah,
I will be
bring that thing on
outside
up.
down the road by, like, Verizon
Why?
Arena.
You won't pet it?
No, dude.
They like it. Have you ever pet one in the wild?
No, I try and
Just
stay
go
away
down to the
from
river and
snakes.
reach down and pet them.
Yeah, no, I'm
No,
good.
they love it.
I'm good, man.
Got me.
An unidentified object crashed through the roof of an auto parts shop in Magnolia, New Jersey last
It's
week.
probably someone's emotional support.
Their horse. Yeah. It's a big thing of poopy. There's no definitive answer as to what it was. How can that be?
It's because the horse just goes too fast,
Yeah.
man.
At 2:30 a.m., a loud boom, bright flash awakened the neighborhood.
Oh, that was a super emotional horse.
Yeah, when he got to his shop, Sebastian Leonardo discovered a large hole in the ceiling, extensive damage. And yeah, there's video. Surveillance footage showed a sudden fireball entering through the roof, followed by debris. Despite thorough searches, Leonardo and his employees can't find the object responsible.
Can you imagine they're all standing in that room? We don't know what it was, and the camera pans up, and the hole's just the shape of a horse.
Right, that'd be great. This is great, though. It says a possible meteorite impact, but if that's the case, where's the meteor? You know, if there's nothing there, you got to wonder what's going on there. 50-foot gray whale found washed ashore in Huntington Beach, California, Friday, the latest in a series of unexplained deaths along the Pacific coast. The Pacific Marine Mammal Center conducted a necropsy, no sign of trauma, no ship strikes, no entanglements, anything like that. Since the beginning of the year, at least 70 have died in lagoons of Baja California, where they typically breed during the winter. So I don't know what's going on. I remember on the East Coast, they were having problems with whales beaching themselves because of the underwater, the windmills that were out there, and the
Oh, okay.
the lines were disruptive to the whales. They were causing them great stress. If you're getting caught, or if you're getting regular checks, it appears you can be really quiet for a long ass time. A Spanish woman exposed for fraudulently claiming a disability pension for 16 years, pretending to be mute following a workplace incident in 2003. After inconsistencies were found in her medical records, a private eye gathered evidence showing her speaking normally in public, including video shown in court. The High Court of Justice of Andalusia ruled in favor of the insurance company, ending her benefits and initiating proceedings to recover the funds she got. Man, you know, if you're going to pretend to be mute,
You gotta commit.
you do. You got to be committed. But she did make it 16 years.
I mean, that's a pretty
she
good
was
run.
pretty good.
I wonder if they're going to stop covering the funds for her emotional support horse too.
I was
Yeah,
just about to.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. The first round of play-in action starts tonight in the NBA playoffs. Going into the postseason, the betting universe appears to be aligned in thinking that out of the 20 playoff teams, only 2 have a legit shot at the championship. Those 2 being the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Boston Celtics. The Thunder certainly, with SGA, have it going. Boston, of course, the defending champion. After that, the Cavs, the Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets, Knicks, and Clippers. For those into long shots, the Kings, Heat, Mavericks, Hawks, and Bulls are going off at like plus 200,000. In other words, if you bet 100 and win, you'll pull 200,000 profit. But good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to win.
You got any favorites for it?
I'd love to see the Lakers get it, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty open here. I don't believe in Cleveland. The only time Cleveland ever won was the one time with LeBron. Otherwise, they were the whipping boy of the NBA, particularly for Jordan. I know they have some good players. I just don't believe in them. So do I have I think Oklahoma has a really good shot at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd love to see LA come out of it. The Celtics, you cannot look. They're a wildly great team. Denver is a great team with Jokic. But if LA offensively, there's no one who could compete with their firepower if they're on all cylinders. Defensively, they have challenges.
Gotcha.
And they're playing a smaller ball versus someone like. Some of these other teams just have better big men. They got rid of Anthony Davis in favor of Luka Doncic, so they don't have a big man other than a couple of scrubs and LeBron. Let's see, number 77 has become number 1 for the first time ever. An international player topped the NBA's best-selling jersey list. That's Luka Doncic, now the highest demand, according to data released by the NBA. For over a decade, it's been LeBron or Steph. So the current rankings show Curry number 2, followed by LBJ at number 3. Yeah, everybody loves Luka Doncic because he's just fun to watch, and he seems like he's having more fun than anybody else out there. He seems like us.
Yeah.
He can't really get in full shape because he loves beer too much. But he's still hooping out there. That's us. That's who we want to be. It's like, yeah, I got a belly. I'm still doing it.
Right.
For the first time in his career, Aaron Judge will be representing Team USA in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. He'll be doing it as a team captain. He calls it a great opportunity. Said he's looking forward to it. He kind of got sentimental, saying it's an honor to have USA across my chest and represent all the great people in our country and what this country means. You better watch your mouth, son. You sound like you might care. That's bad. The World Baseball Classic will begin March 5th, wrap up the 17th with games in Houston, Miami, Tokyo, and San Juan.
Brad Elkins says, by the way, happy Jackie Robinson Day. We're
Is
number
it?
42,
It's Jackie Robinson Day?
apparently.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. He was a great player, man.
Yeah, man.
Great player.
Figured it went well with the baseball.
No, it did. It did. Let's see what else is going on. Tactical Turkeys in the house. What up, dog?
Everybody's saying good morning.
Yeah, our comments for those of you who are uninitiated, they've got their own family structure
Right.
built into our comment section.
They
now.
were just talking about that this
Were
morning,
they?
too. They
Yeah.
were like, Brandon and Latasha and little doggy were all saying good morning, and Brandon said it's like a big family.
Yeah,
No, straight up.
they've initiated their own family unit within that, and they do invite you to join if you're cool.
It is cool.
If you're cool. If you're not cool, please don't join them, they said. They don't want you to be there.
Whatever. They're nice.
No, they're
I
all-
join in and chat with them when I'm not.
They're super nice, man. They're all great people. Listen, if you're looking for a vehicle, Fitz Auto's where to go. The average vehicle price for a new car, before tariffs, by the way, $49,000. That's pure insanity in my mind. I don't know. Maybe it sounds reasonable to you. I'm not paying that. And you shouldn't pay it. You should get a late model, low mileage vehicle because then you get the best value out of it. You know what? Fitz Auto has those, and they work with you even if you've had some credit problems. And look, honestly, the past few years, the economy sucked. So a lot of people, maybe you had better credit, but man, you went through some bumps and you're like, man, I don't want a junker. Well, don't get one. Go to Fitz Auto. It's 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock, or you can go online to fitzauto.com. They put all their inventory up there. They have pictures, they have the miles, they have the price, they have all the details. I mean, they put it all out there. They're not afraid. They want you to see it. They're proud of it. Go by and check them out, 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock, or online at fitzauto.com. So, Luke, what's the latest and the greatest in your world? What's going on with you, man?
Man, a lot of good stuff, dude. You know, the catalog's doing good. Just crossed 4 million across the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing, dude. I saw that. Man, it's got to feel great.
It does, man. It's always cool to see people respond to stuff and all that, and it's been fun, man. You know, mine and Alex's management flew into Nash last week. We got to work on some killer stuff, and there's one thing that you heard me and Chad talk about that I think we're finally going to get to announce here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And looks like June, new music's coming.
Okay, so that's when it may happen.
It's looking pretty certain right now.
It's looking June.
Yeah,
this is this. I was getting ready to ask about that album, man, because look, I mean, I don't want to reveal anything, but I might have been privy to hear a couple of samples of things here and there, and man, listen, I am just I can't wait for this to drop, man.
Dude, I'm ready for it, man, because some of it, like you've heard me say, I've had sitting on my phone for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Now, I do know. So, you know, you've given birth to these. You're going to put them out in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, as you go into getting ready for that, okay, because June is not far.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you might think, oh, that's a good distance, but if you're really going to build a promotional machine, you're going to start pretty damn soon, right? I mean, that's fair, right? I mean, not that you're not always doing something, but so my question is, what about as these, you know, your first single, you know, when will you start videos? Are you going to make videos? How's it going to go?
Man, a lot of times now it's like the social media content, like the TikTok reels and like taking a day to go film content and all that. And there's the thing that you've heard me and Chad talking about. That's one day where we're going to film quite a bit of stuff there.
Okay.
If y'all wind up coming to town that day, we're going to wind up filming a whole bunch of stuff there to kind of showcase everything when it comes out. You know, it's a lot of just like, you know, it's I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. A lot of it's still word of mouth, you know what I mean, through social media and all that.
No, but will you make? I guess I mean, will you launch a music video with when you release it? Yeah,
for sure with one of them. For sure with one of them. Yeah, there's a couple that we're looking at. There's one that's like a collaboration between us and a couple of other bands. A video's for sure being shot for that one. And I think there's one of the other tracks that we've been talking to a buddy of ours about shooting a video for too and all that. And so
let me ask this: with, you know, digital equipment, cameras, iPhones, Androids, whatever, you know, becoming so ubiquitous and so much more affordable, has that made making videos for bands much more affordable?
not really.
No, it hasn't.
Not really.
So what? You know, when you make a video as a, you know, a premier band, what are the biggest costs involved in it?
A lot of times it's just the personnel you're bringing in, which rightfully so. I mean, a lot of these dudes that we talk to, man, they've got years in the game. Like, you're not just paying for their time and you're not just paying for their equipment. You're paying for, like, the experience that they have to bring to the table, which
their vision.
Yeah, you know, and it's totally worth it. Like, they've absolutely earned it. But it is just still a lot of money, too. You know what I mean? Like, there was one guy 2 years ago. He had pitched us an idea for a music video for Villain, and we loved it. We wanted to do it, but it was going to be, like, well into the 5-digit price range.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, man, we just, you know what I mean?
I just can't right now.
Yeah, you know, and so, but I mean, you know, it's one of those that, with technology being the way it is, some stuff's definitely more accessible. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But cost is still kind of, you know what I mean? With inflation and everything, cost is still kind of crazy right now.
No, I get that. So, you know, what are some of the things you'll be doing between now and June to prepare for this to happen, to make this launch as successful as possible?
Well, one of the big things is, like, you know, there's the track that's coming out that, like, you always are focused on getting that ready, but you also have to worry about, like, the 5 other tracks after to, like, be sure that it's not just one and done, you know? Like, last year we put Gone Out when we did as kind of like a proof of concept to show that, like, just how much is coming, basically. And so now, like, we've really been taking the time to work with Kellen, to work with Evan and Cam and all those guys, and, like, be sure that once we start putting stuff out, that it's just a constant train, that,
Sure.
that it doesn't stop, you know?
And that's one thing I think that some people may or may not realize. You may, once I say it, you might go, oh, yeah, I guess I didn't think about it, but it kind of makes sense. But it's almost backwards in putting out music to the way it used to be.
Straight up. Yeah.
Because used to be a band would create an album, drop that album, and then they would slowly release singles here and there, sometimes 2 or 3, sometimes more. Now they do it reverse. They make singles and release singles until you back catalog that to an album. Is that right?
Absolutely. You know, Kellen's the perfect example of it. You know, they're playing the Hall tomorrow night, and like the way they've done their past 2 records is a year before the record comes out, they'll start dropping a new single every 6 weeks.
Right.
And then they'll waterfall those releases. And what I mean by that is, like, when a new release comes out, they'll attach the previous release to that new release too.
Sure.
To keep the numbers funneling and all that.
Right.
So by the time the new record comes out, there's really only a couple of tracks that you haven't heard, but it just helps beef the numbers up so much.
Well, and I think the other thing that it does is it stops the heavy upfront cost
Absolutely.
that may be involved in the full album and all of that production, whereas over time you can kind of do these singles and put them in the can, if you will.
Yeah.
Just like you said, some of these I've had on my phone for a couple of years now. I know they're not completed necessarily, but you know, you've been working on these tracks, so you'll have them kind of ready to rock.
Absolutely.
And so you'll have a time stamp that happens and a plan.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Basically, once June kicks in and we start dropping new music, basically throughout the rest of the year.
Right.
It's
Now,
just a constant stream of it.
so, you know, when you do something like that, I mean, obviously, I'm sure your management puts out press releases, they do things like that, but how do you get it in front of as many stations or you know, services, people who will play it as possible?
Man, so it's 2 different things. Of course, management, you know, Scott and Phil absolutely kill it, and they really do help me and Alex out a ton with that stuff. But a lot of it's who you know, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of, like, you heard me telling you that just last week a buddy of mine played reel for a certain member of a certain huge band, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
of course, yes.
You know, like, there's certain things that'll happen, you know, of, like, just get them in
Does
front of
that
people.
help with
Oh, yeah.
tell me, you know, something like that where, and we're not going to name anybody, but where a top tier band, a well-known mainstream band, someone plays a song of yours for them, they hear it, they dig it. How does that in the long term benefit you?
Man, so a couple different things. It can turn into them like wanting to do co-writes with you. It can turn into them like wanting to team up from like a production perspective as far as like getting you with the people that work with them. It could turn into like them wanting to team up with you as far as like getting you on a support slot for shows.
Right.
It's one of those that like the cool thing with the Nashville scene, man, everybody just wants to help everybody.
That's cool.
What's good for one person is good for everybody. You know, a lot of times people realize it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Here's another question that I have for you. And Rich, please, you know, I don't want you to
No,
feel
no,
by
you're good,
yourself
man.
or chime in if you have questions.
Absolutely.
So my question is this: you know, you write not just for your band, but you write for many bands.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you do a lot of writing, right? When you become a session writer, if you will, I don't know if that's the right word.
No,
but-
that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, but when you become a session writer, when you begin to write for others, obviously you get a credit, you know, and should that song blow up and do well, then royalties in the future would come. But if you write a song, let's say you wrote a song for Shinedown, for example, right?
I'd love to.
I know you would.
Yeah.
I know you would. Who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
I would too, for that matter, Luke. But let's say you wrote a song for them. It's on the album,
Yep.
but it's a deep cut. Okay, so in that case, the only payment you really would get for it is the notoriety and publicity that would lead you to something else, because
Yeah.
to be paid for writing, you probably have it's on the back end, right?
Yeah, you know, it's all streams and publishing and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So, like, anything that it does stream, you're still going to get taken care of on that side of
Sure.
things. But, you know, sometimes it is like a lot of, you know, somebody will hear this thing and then it'll lead to a different thing over
Right,
here.
right.
Like, there was a certain phone call from someone last week that I'm a huge fan of that turned into me writing for somebody else. And
Right.
so I cannot wait to talk about that.
I know you do. I know you do,
I
bro.
told you about it last
I
week.
know you do, bro. I know you do.
But like it's that kind of stuff, man. You know, it's all who you know, and like half the battle is just being a good hang too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're good to people and you do right by and you hang out with them and you take the time to build the friendship, all the business stuff will come later.
Right.
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean?
So, I guess my question, or where I was going with that is the, how you get to being compensated for doing what you do in the long run, because obviously you can sell albums, you can sell tickets, you got video income. I mean, there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
What is the most important way? Is it the streams? That's the most important?
Yeah, I mean, like the publishing side of things for sure. And,
Yeah.
and when I say publishing, that is like, streams, how people are listening, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. Making sure that stuff's squared away the right way. That's a huge part of it. Getting out there and playing shows, that's a huge part of it too. You know what I mean? Like the way money's like moving hands now in the music industry, a lot of that model has changed.
Right.
But when it comes to playing shows, like when you're able to sell merch and all that, and the venues don't have some crazy merch cut, because that's another thing now too.
That is a newer thing where they're
Yeah.
trying to. I heard that Simmons was trying to take like 30%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they were trying to pay out 70% merch, and I'm like, man, that seems like seems a little high there.
Yeah, and what's tricky is sometimes it's like not even the venue. Sometimes it's like Live Nation or Ticketmaster,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like whoever's over them, basically.
Yeah,
And like I've heard of venues trying to do like a 45% merch cut before.
really.
Wow.
Yeah, and like a lot of the industry's changed money wise too ever since COVID. Like the industry is still catching up from COVID from a financial perspective,
Right.
Because like the entirety of the live music industry got put on hold, But to answer like the money question though, for sure the publishing is the big thing.
Yeah.
And then once you get where you're like consistently on the road and you're at the level of like trying to think of when you're at the level of like a Skillet or
Okay,
a 3 Days
yeah,
Grace
yeah,
or
that's a
something
good
like
one, yeah.
that. You know what I mean? When you're on that level playing those kind of shows, that's where a lot of that income will come into.
Yeah. So looking forward to what's about to happen, what are you most excited about, and what are you most apprehensive about?
I as far as excited, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play some of the big rooms.
Right.
Without revealing too much, I'm ready to play some of the big rooms, which
Right.
you can probably catch my drift. But
Yeah.
but some of those big rooms that we haven't gotten to get into before. Like, I mean, we've been lucky to do some before in previous projects, but like, an arena's always been a bucket list goal of mine.
Right.
And it's stuff's moving in the right direction. I'll put it
Oh
that
yeah,
way.
no, I know this. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like that's gonna be cool. As far as apprehension goes, like I don't really have apprehension as much as like sometimes I get like imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I'm still waiting for like I still feel like everybody's pranking me, and that I'm like, actually like a horrible singer, and that like nobody's telling me just yet that everyone's just being really cool.
That's
You
so
know what
funny.
I mean?
It's
And
so funny how
Yeah.
Come at the end of it and give you an emotional support horse.
That's right. It's so
Yeah.
funny how and I appreciate that honesty, because no matter how talented, no matter how amazing a human being is, sometimes even in the midst of that, you feel a type of way. You feel like, am I?
Oh, dude,
Am
straight
I?
up,
You
yeah.
know, and that's amazing, because that's just that's how human beings are.
I think that also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that also just comes from a little bit of, coming up and trying to build a name for yourself and
Sure.
being taken advantage of so many times early on in your
Yeah.
career. You kind of get this
trigger,
sense of,
sunshine.
hey, I need to wait for the other shoe to drop here.
Right. No, and that's a good point, because in the history and in the journey, there are lots of roller coaster up and downs in a band's life.
Yeah, and I've been real lucky that like everyone I've gotten to work with over the years, like I've just been really lucky that I've always had really good experiences. But like even in my scenario where I've had the best experiences working with great people, there's still times where like in your head you're like, okay, am I acting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And imposter syndrome's a real thing, dude. Like
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, no.
legit. It is. Yeah.
Like anytime I talk to Chad from Mudvayne, he's always super nervous before he goes on stage, and then he goes out there and just crushes. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And then like some of these big dudes, like that you wouldn't think would be, they still have just the same nerves. That's the big thing that you learn when you start getting in the rooms with these people.
Is that they're just like everybody else.
Dude, they're literally just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I have to imagine too that once you hit a certain level and you become a certain level of secure, You know, I don't know if wealthy is the right word, but certainly when you're doing very, very well as a band,
Yeah.
I would think the more successful you get, the wealthier you become, the less in touch with everyday things you become, and that might set you up for some, some of that stuff.
You know, I've seen
Not
it
you,
some.
but
No, I
people in
know.
general.
Yeah, I've seen it sometimes. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it so much all the time with a lot of them. You know, because a lot of these guys, when they make it because of the background they came from of having nothing to having everything.
Right.
So they still have that appreciation for it. There are times though that you'll see guys that get caught up in it. You know what I mean? I've been backstage at plenty of stuff where you see certain people act a certain way. But for me, man, like, if I'm doing good enough with the music where I can go to Chili's and buy an F-250 and a double wide, I'm doing good. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Your aspirations are still humble in a way.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I do.
Yeah.
If you had to guess where you will be in, let's say, 5 years, and I'm sure you have a roadmap.
Yeah.
Where's that going to be in 5 years?
Riding his emotional support horse.
straight up.
You are really about this horse today, Rich.
Oh, dude, it's so good though.
Hold
man.
your horses, Rich.
Yeah. 5 years from now, I would like to have a few number ones on rock radio under my belt.
Yeah.
You know, between Vantage and between co-writes and all that stuff, I'd
Yeah.
like to have a few number ones. That's a good one. I've been so like in the 3-year headspace. I hadn't thought about the 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. 5 years, an arena headliner would be cool.
Yeah.
You know what
That'd
I'm
be
saying?
great.
An
Yeah.
arena headliner would be
Yeah.
cool. What else?
So let's say that you wrote for someone else.
Yeah.
Let's say, again, we'll stay with Shinedown, okay?
Yeah.
So let's say you wrote a song with Shinedown. That song goes to number 1, as many of theirs do.
Yeah.
Does that change life for you immediately because of
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because then you're going to be called on by others to come right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's a number 1.
Oh, straight up. Yeah. No, it's a real
Probably
thing.
even top 10 would do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, there's literally, I was hanging out with Evan 2 weeks ago, and there was a guy that we're talking about writing with because of how many number ones he has.
Okay. Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of times when you're in Nashville and you're in these writers' rooms, when you're trying to figure out who to write with, half of it's the genre and half of it's what have they done at radio so far. You know what I mean?
So, before we shift on, because I know we've been on this a little bit, but I do have a question. So,
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that over the past, let's say, decade, that rock, as we know it, chart-wise, has fallen probably down the ladder from almost the top, rap hip-hop as well. Is rock poised to come back
Oh,
to
absolutely.
take charts over again? Can
yeah.
it do it? Is it over for mainstream rock?
No, I think we're about to see the resurgence of it in a real way. I think, let's see, we're 2025. It's April now. By April of 2028, rock will be where country is right now.
Rock will be
Wow.
back to that,
Yeah,
you think?
absolutely.
What do you see around the curve that's going to lead that charge?
Well, so right now you're seeing kind of just an organic thing where, like, Creed is making a huge comeback. Nickelback's doing their thing. You've got Adam back with 3 Days Grace. You got Crossfade returning. Like, all the peripherals are starting to come together. Every conversation that I have with industry people, they're telling me how, like, the rock thing is starting
It's
to
on
kind
the
of-
rise again.
Yeah, and I really think that by 2028, it's going to look like 2005 all over again.
Do you think that, whereas at one point, and again, we've talked about this, but at one point at the station that sold its soul, I remember there were a couple years, well, there was one year in particular where our most mainstream act was Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, yeah.
And while they're great, they're phenomenal, they're not what most would call mainstream. They're very aggressive, very, very super hard, very, you know what I mean.
Right.
Do you think that rock is coming back to earlier roots, more baseline music than that hardest edge stuff? Or how do you think that it's coming back?
I actually think it's going to the harder edge stuff,
Do you?
believe it or not. Yeah, so Sleep Token, you've heard me talk about
Yeah,
them
I like
before
those
on
guys
here.
a lot.
They literally just beat out, like, who was it that I seen? Selena Gomez and somebody, like,
Yeah.
they dropped a song. They only announced the song coming out that week, and it literally beat out everybody on the pop charts.
Wow.
Literally everybody. Like
Yeah.
Sleep Token are starting to like body people with
But
their
would
music.
you say, I guess the difference to me is that, like Avenged Sevenfold, if you listen to their songs, mostly it's just in your face, bam, hard,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the newer style hard rock has these pockets of melody and lighter vocals,
yeah,
and then
I
it
see what you're saying.
explodes, and
Yeah.
then it, goes lighter, and it explodes, as opposed to just a
Like
a
it's-
face
yeah.
melting, grind.
Well, I think what a lot of it too is, and you've heard me talk about Cody saying this before, most rock, most country, most pop music even, it's all a pop song just
Yes.
disguised in whatever genre that it's in.
No, that was maybe the most helpful thing that you said to me when I
Yeah.
started playing around with writing some songs.
Yeah.
Is that really it's all pop?
Yeah.
It's just where you put it.
Exactly.
And I started writing from that perspective that it's all pop. You just write a pop song and then you put it to
Absolutely.
whatever stylized form you want it to be in.
And the big thing with pop too, like as long as you've got a good hook, you know what I mean, and it's catchy and you can remember it.
Yeah.
That's all, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place.
We're going to take a break, and I am going to play a song, but when we come back, I want to do one of those, you know how you do those videos where people listen to things and respond,
And
react
respond to 'em, yeah.
So I've got a song I want to play and get you guys to react to. I haven't aired it anywhere.
Is this what
Nice.
you wrote?
It is one that I wrote, and I think it's a summer jam.
Okay.
But we're going to come back and do that. Meantime, let's get out of here and play a quick song, and we'll come back and have a little bit of fun with that, all right?
Bet.
Be back in a minute, y'all.
Worked all day, glad to be home. Wanna hit the recliner, get some beer in my dome. Kick back the handle, feet go up in the air. Reach for the remote, but shit, it ain't there. All of a sudden the TV screen flicks. It's the Real Housewives of New Old Dicks. Oh God, can this be happening to me? My wife got control of the TV. As the credits rolled, I thought things could get fun. But my wife changed it to something called Bridgerton. FML is all I can mutter. These ladies are worse than housewives and teen mothers. Are they from like the 1800s? All of a sudden the TV screen flicks. It's the Real Housewives of New Old Dicks. Oh God, can this be happening to me? My wife got control of the TV. When 9 p.m. came around, for a minute I had hope. I stretched out my arm and she just blurted no. All of a sudden the TV screen flicks. It's the Real Housewives of New Old Dicks. Oh God, can this be happening to me? My wife got control of the TV. When 9 p.m. came around, for a minute I had hope. I stretched out my arm and she just blurted no. Oh, all of a sudden the TV screen flicks. It's the Real Housewives of New Orleans. Oh God, can this be happening to me? My wife got control of the TV.
All right, we are back, man. We are back. It is Patrick and the people, and it is time for me to let you know that, man, if you're looking to get a little brewski at lunchtime, a good place to go would be over to Stone's Throw over on East 9th Street, man. Theron's got it going on. They've got 14 beers on tap. Hold on. You know, I just have really, I need to just jump in and do this. Just hold on a second here. I just...
Evasive maneuvers.
There we go. There we go. Let's get closer to you. You want to see Luke and Rich's faces. Anyway, yeah. If you go to Stone's Throw, man, he's got 14 beers on tap, and these aren't slouchy beers, man. These are great craft beers. He's always got something new and different. They've got Slater's Alaskan Dumplings, who run the kitchen there, and they have 7 days a week on that. So get over and see there. And listen. He was a commercial airline pilot. He loved beer so damn much he quit being a pilot to make beer. So you know he's good at it. All right.
And if you do go over there, my face gets better looking.
Yeah, that's probably true. That might be true.
Have you asked them if emotional support horses are allowed in there?
No, that's a great question. And, you know, Theron probably would be open to that, but I will find out. Maybe we'll call him later and ask him if emotional support horses are acceptable there.
There you go.
Oh.
So, yes.
I was just going to let it was a good idea. Little Doggy says an idea segment for when Luke visits. We should play the songs that everybody sends in and have him rate them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
down for
That's a
that,
good.
yeah.
That would be fun to do. That is a good idea. I like that. All right, so I told you that I had a new one, and I wanted to do more of a reaction style where we just listen to it together. You know, I haven't launched this online anywhere.
Okay.
I haven't put this anywhere. I don't think nobody's heard this song. Certainly none of the viewers or listeners have. And so I wanted to write a kind of a country rock, because that's the big in thing right now. The
absolutely, yeah.
country rock, the Hardy, the Jelly
Lakeview.
Rolls, all that type of stuff. I wanted to write a country rock summer jam.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what in my mind I set out to do. And so let's see what you guys think of this, all right?
Bet.
All right, here we go now.
Punch the clock, it's Friday. We getting together tonight. Hit the liquor store, dispensary, gonna get our heads right. A little chill in the air, bonfire and plenty of wood. Laura let down her hair. No, it's about to get good. Got a bonfire in the backyard. Oh, yeah, chugging and chiefing. We passing bottles and blunts, getting deep into the evening. Everybody staying all the way to the end. Tell your mama and your cousin and all of your friends.
Yeah.
Got the whiskey, some decent wine, and oh yeah, tequila. Tonight it's money well spent, but the morning may kill ya. Every time one goes empty, here comes another keg. It's only 9 and Billy just fired up another hog leg. Got a bonfire in the backyard. Oh yeah, chugging and chiefing. We passing bottles and blunts, getting deep into the evening. Everybody staying all the way to the end. Tell your mama and your cousin and all of your friends.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
man.
good. I like that. I'm hearing 3 different things when I listen to that. So I'm hearing my buddies in Lakeview that do like the country rock thing.
Right.
But I'm also hearing some Mitchell Tenpenny and some Dustin Lynch when I listen to that too.
Okay.
Those are 2 dudes like in the country game.
Yeah.
Mitchell does a little bit of the country rock thing too. Like on his past record, he had a track with Under Oath that was on.
Oh,
it.
wow.
People,
That's
yeah.
wild. Yeah, they're pretty hard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but no, I'm hearing different elements of that, man. It's 100% got the pop country thing going on for
Yeah.
sure, which I mean is in right now. Country radio is booming. You know what
Well,
I
it
mean?
is. It's the fusion of rock and country, which has long, been going on, has truly exploded in a
Yeah.
lot of ways,
I tell you, leaning into the country rock stuff, that track that you've heard me talk about from Hardy, Mockingbird and Crow.
Yeah, which is phenomenal.
I'd love to hear you do something like that. Because, of the country rock
One that
stuff-
transitions like that?
Yeah, because, this track, it's definitely country rock, but it leans on the countryside.
Yeah.
While still being country rock. I'd love to hear a country rock one that leans on the rock. now,
That
too.
goes heavier on
Yeah.
the rock side of things. Yeah, okay.
But, that could be on country radio, like, tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's fun. I think it's a
100%.
fun song.
No, absolutely.
It's one I think you could sing along to and have
Yeah.
a good time with. I mean, everybody can relate to being around a bonfire, drinking, smoking, all
Oh,
that.
yeah. I mean, if you went down to Broadway in Nashville and you played this, it'd be a hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go down to, Kid Rocks or Jelly Rolls or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You play that in there, yeah, you're good.
That'd be all right. All right. Let's see what we've got. What's going on the comments over here for us, Rich?
Oh,
Anything
yeah, man.
Before we move on to our next topics.
Everybody's saying that it was good. They enjoyed it.
that's
Little doggy said now he wants a mojito. Very good, buddy.
No, that's good. That's good.
Brandon said, Brandon, Government Hot Wheels. Governor Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Said it's really good. Going to be hearing this one on the radio, he says. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
agree, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let me tell you what's going on. This is, guys, maybe one of the craziest stories that I've ever read out loud. It's very simple and yet insane. A startup recently announced the launch of the world's first live sperm race, and you'll be able to watch it in its inaugural edition in Los Angeles. No, this is absolutely true. According to an outlet called Traded, the startup, known simply as Sperm Racing, has raised $1 million in support of their efforts to put on the world's first sperm race. The men behind it, Eric Zhu, Nick Small, Shane Fan, and Garrett Nikonenko, according to this. They're all entrepreneurs. The sperm racing website's manifesto cites a worldwide decline in male fertility as the catalyst for the idea. Said male fertility is declining like a lot. It's happening quietly, steadily. Nobody's talking about it. So this is to raise awareness of that trend. I'm not sure what you would do even with the awareness, but they're turning it into a sport. So said if you can train for sports by spending hours perfecting your form and pushing your body to its limits, then why can't you train your health too?
You know, some dude's going to go into Applebee's after winning one of these races
Oh,
and think
man.
he's on cloud 9.
No, man, you will carry that award with you wherever you go. No, there's no doubt about it. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly would this race work? Well, they laid it out for us. First, a microscopic racetrack for the 2 sperm samples to compete on will be constructed. The course mimics a reproductive system and includes chemical signals, fluid dynamics, and synchronized starts. So every move the sperm makes is tracked by high-res cameras and live streamed. There will be stats, leaderboards, and instant replays.
I just don't know how we got this before we got GTA 6.
For real.
What a great point, man. How did this happen before
What
GTA
in the
6?
world?
The race itself is exactly like any other. The first sperm to cross the finish line wins. Said we're turning it into a spectacle. Think press conference, weigh-ins, live-streamed races with play-by-play commentary and betting. That's right. They're creating a market where fans can bet on it as well. Now, my question is, how do you choose who the competitors are? You know, how do you know who's got, you don't want to have a blowout. Oh, hold on. You don't want to have a blowout here, right? You want to have a good race. So how do you pick 2 evenly matched producers?
I just want to
I
know.
don't even know.
Yeah, dude. There's so many questions.
Well, yeah. No,
I want to know how they're going to kick that off. Like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spermathon 400, the Trojan 400.
the Trojan 400
Yeah.
does sound right. Well, look, it only has a short lifespan. So, are you going to, are they cranking right before they go? Or is this something that you've done an hour before, 2 hours before? When you say, gentlemen, start your engines, do they,
Well, right. And
start,
I just want to know how long it takes for the UFC to buy this and turn it.
Dana White's going to buy it in about 3 months and add it to the lineup. No, that'd be great right there. Didn't he buy,
He bought Power Slap.
yeah, let's just say Power Slap. didn't he?
Yeah.
Now,
Some of those power slaps are brutal,
dude, that stuff is crazy, man. You watch the slow-mo and you see these people's faces just
they get
contort.
completely rearranged.
Oh, no, they do. I mean, you're like, man, I didn't even know your face could move like that until you see somebody just have the piss slapped out of them.
Now, I know you've done the wrestling thing
Yeah.
on air with Patrick and the people.
Would
you ever do
No. No,
You
I'm
let
not
somebody
doing
come in
no.
and slap you across
Hell
the
no.
face.
No,
Come
no.
on, man.
No power slaps. No.
Tell you
man.
what, if we could
Those-
raise another $400
No,
for the block.
No, not even for that. No. Can you imagine Nathan Kirby's big ass hands
Right?
coming
That's-
here and
What would-
slapping me across the
What,
face?
what would be your benchmark to allow a power slap in the studio?
Right.
Like,
Okay.
What's a metric or something?
What do we got to
What number would it have to be?
You can have an emotional support horse with you too.
All right, fair enough. If I can do that, $5,000 will do it.
$5
It would
grand?
take $5,000, man. I mean, listen, I don't like being slapped, Rich. It hurts, and then when somebody's going to slap you like that, that's not just a slap. You're going to feel that for a good week.
So just to be clear, if you raise $5,000 towards the GoFundMe on blocks,
Yeah, yeah.
y'all,
You
where's
can
the camera? Which camera's live?
go here.
This
Go
one right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
go there.
Listen,
Yeah.
for just a small payment one time of $5,000, Patrick's GoFundMe, you can watch him get power slapped in the studio.
Yeah, and I'll call Nathan Kirby to do it.
Yeah,
I'll let Nathan, and you know how big that dude is. He's been
Oh,
in the
yeah.
studio. His hands are bigger than my face, man. Like, he won't leave a welt. The whole side of my face will be just, completely butchered up.
We can have him autograph it.
Autograph the blisters.
The hand slap.
The blister, the big hand. Yeah, it'll be on
Nathan
there.
was here.
It'll look like I was tattooed on the face with the hand.
Straight up, bro.
No, I probably wouldn't wake up for 2 or 3 days with that smack. I mean,
Yeah.
you see those people on those power slaps, they knock them smooth out,
Oh,
man,
straight
with a
up, bro.
slap. And it's the craziest thing you ever see when you get hit like that.
We just hear you on the way down go, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
No, I don't think you'd hear anything except, oh. And so that would be, oh.
Anybody in the comments being the first to
Little
make
doggy says, how about 50 for a purple nurple?
Yeah, now we're negotiating. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Brandon says, Luke, pull $5K out of your pocket. Come on, let's go.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all for it, man. We're
No, they're all for it until it comes time to
there is no
to pay
time
it.
that
No,
we're
no,
not
to
okay
pay.
with watching it.
to paying. That's what until it comes time to pay for it. Yeah, nobody's going to pay for it. All right, let's take a look at this and see what you think. I think this is one of those probably unnecessary surveys, but okay. A lot of people watching spending right now. Turns out, no longer something you have to hide. A new survey looks at what financial progress means to Americans and how much of it we're making. It finds that, quote, being frugal is in. 61% agree that it's cool to be frugal more so than it was 10 years ago. That's because you're all broke.
I'm about to say, is it because it's cool or is it because it's?
I just
Yeah.
love how they started it off with, you don't have to hide it. Like I'm just
Yeah.
sitting inside my house being like, oh, I don't want to go.
Right.
I'm broke. That's why I don't leave.
No, that's exactly. It's like, come on, did you need a survey? for
Right,
this?
like-
It's the worst economy in probably our lifetimes, and you're like, oh, it's cool to be frugal. Well, no shit, it's cool.
Yeah.
I want to eat and live.
You don't have a choice.
I remember the days where, like, right when I graduated high school, and I would still keep like change in that little pocket
Oh,
on
yeah.
my door in my truck. I legitimately one day paid the McDonald's dude $5 in dimes for
Yup.
chickens. You
That's
know what
back
I'm
when you
saying?
could afford to have a thing full of coins
That's
like
what
that.
I'm saying,
I
yeah.
can't even. You can't even leave a thing full of coins in the car. Someone would break in to get them now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, it's crazy. you know, how much cheaper things were just 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, food's gone up 20 to 30, 40%. And, you know, it's tough to drive through. When you go through Arby's and you leave for 2 people, it's $32. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
You want to know something that'll piss y'all off? So I went to a buddy of mine's party in Nashville at this spot, and I don't want to say the name of the spot because, like, well, I'll say it's Tailgate. It's out in West End in Nashville.
Okay.
Great spot, great food. Like, it's a pizza spot.
Yeah.
And it's like it's outdoors, and there's room to like bring your dogs, and like there's picnic tables, and there's a
Emotional
bar.
support
inside.
horses?
Yep, you are.
Oh, yeah.
And like it's great and all that, but I didn't realize how expensive that thing was going to be just for me. Okay. Mm-hmm. I got a Mountain Dew. I got a large pizza.
Okay.
And on the pizza, it had pepperoni, bacon, and fried chicken because it's a pizza shop and they can let you put whatever on there.
Fried chicken does sound
that
good.
does sound good.
Yeah, it does sound good.
And like this wasn't like a thick crust. It's
Bone
just like,
out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like your normal, like not thick, not thin, but whatever that kind of crust is
Yeah.
called, and just a drink.
$60.
Almost.
Yeah.
51.
Bingo.
Yeah?
Bingo. After tax.
Yeah, that's
For just myself
That's
for a
crazy,
pizza
bro.
and a drink.
Bro, that's the craziest thing
is
ever. For a
insane.
pizza and a drink.
Yeah. And they
Man, listen,
called it a large pizza.
Yeah, when
but
you
it's-
tell me $51, I'm probably gonna the power slap's about to happen. I'm sorry, I thought you said 51.
And dude, and get this, bro. When you walk up to the menu, like it says large pizza, like, $20, $25 or whatever,
Yeah.
which is expensive, but I expected it. But somehow 3 toppings and a Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Wow, that's
It was that fried
that
chicken,
Mountain
man.
Dew is expensive, isn't it,
Straight
man?
up, bro.
Jeez.
It was the fried chicken. That's a specialty topping.
You know how long it took them to cook it?
I probably, if I was going to cook you a $51 pizza, it'd take a while.
Yeah, it took about 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's about how long I'd make it take.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get it fast for $51. I'm gonna make you got to anticipate it. I mean, I got to sell it a little bit. I can't just run that out from the pizza genie. Because they make those little quick pizza ovens that'll knock it out in like 3-5 minutes. You see those? I forget what they're called, but it's a particular kitchen cooking implement just for pizza, and it's like an express thing, so you can do them real fast and turn them around. I only know because I've watched way too much Bar Rescue.
I love that show.
That is a great show.
I love that show.
They dropped a new season recently, season 9, and one interesting episode that we just watched yesterday was if you've watched the show, John Taffer's the host, and he's a lot of fun. He blows up on people, yells at them, gets in their face. That's why it's exciting. But in this episode, I guess they're field testing maybe for subsequent seasons because he's like, look, I can't be everywhere at once, so I brought in some folks to do it. So he had a couple people who've already been on the show, but he brought in Danny Trejo.
Really?
Yeah, Machete?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
See, I
when
still know him as a dude from Spy Kids.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. When I tell you that dude was yelling at people like nobody ever yelled at them in their lives. I mean, even John Taffer was probably sitting at home going, God, Danny, Jesus Christ, man. Take a chill, bro. You're going to kill somebody, man. And look, I don't care. The dude's, when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's much shorter than I thought he was. But just like Ice Cube, but I'm like, it still wouldn't mess with either of them.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo and Ice Cube are two people who will still cut you. They're legit.
Oh, yeah.
They're legit gangsters, you know. I mean, Trejo, he went to prison and all that, and he was just one of those guys who kind of was in the right place, right time.
Yeah.
They cast him in a gangster and started casting him in gangster movies because he authentically knew how it went. And then slowly but surely he became a bigger and bigger actor. But he is a lot of fun to watch. But man, boy, he's aged. His face has aged.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got bags under his eyes that there's groceries in them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's got some vegetables and stuff in there for sure, man. I mean, but man, what a great episode it was. So if you like Bar Rescue, for sure, check that out.
Oh, yeah.
I know a couple spots in Nashville they could hit up.
That's like the new, show they just marathon play during the day, especially on, USA and stuff.
What, Bar Rescue?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's
Bar Rescue
Shark
is,
Tank and-
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch these episodes and I think about some of the places that we go to as bars. And, I
How
look at.
bad is it?
Well, I look at like one of the episodes we watched last night, not the same episode, but you know how you have the spigot that you pour your sodas or different things
Yeah.
with, and they unscrew it, and sometimes they unscrewed this one, man. It's got black stuff, it's got bug legs, bug bodies in it, and I'm like, man, if I'm sitting there and they come in and they show me this, and I'm sitting there eating and drinking, somebody's catching an ass whooping.
Right?
For real, man. We were thinking it would be funny if you knew Bar Rescue was coming and you went to that bar, and right as John walks in, you jump up and start doing the Tappert thing in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, I've had enough. And he's like, hold on, that's my line. What the hell's going on here?
Dude, that could be a bit that you do. So imagine this. Somehow you find out where Bar Rescue's filming, and
Yeah.
you pull up while John Taffert's in there, and you beat him to the freak out.
Yeah, that's
Like, you
it.
know what I'm saying?
That's it. I'm in the back yelling at the chef. He walks back there, and I'm like, "What? Look at this place, man!" And he's like, "Who is this guy?"
Like you basically have
Yeah.
like trying to see who can freak out the most.
Yeah.
Like you freak out on him type deal.
Yeah. What are you doing back here, sir? You don't have an apron on. Who are you? You'd be like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, that's great.
Where's your hairnet?
Yeah. Where's
Just
your-
be like, where the hell's your emotional support horse?
You don't come back to this place without one.
Going back to when you were talking about, inflation and everything
Yeah.
like that, Shane Preeter, Outlaw Dads After Dark,
Yes.
by the way, it was his birthday yesterday.
Happy
so
birthday,
happy birthday
belated,
to him.
man.
He said, just talking about inflation, he had storm damage. A year ago, he received a quote from a general contractor to replace 220 feet of privacy fence, was quoted $6,000. Back then, an insurance company offered him $3,000. He said with the most recent storms, same amount of fence came back at $14,000.
Man, that's crazy. That's pure insanity. Especially when you look at the cost of fencing. Now don't get it twisted. There's a lot of man hours in, putting up post holes and concrete and all that. But if you look at a typical 8-foot length of fencing, I think, and I'd have to Google it, but I think you can get at Home Depot for $60 an unpainted, unfinished 8-foot the wood dog ear fencing. It's 6-foot typical type fence. So you take that out with your measurements and think about that. You're getting raped.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. That's horrible, man.
Yeah, some of the pricing's wild.
No, and it's just people being greedy as hell, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's so much of that. I'm like, come on, man. I get you need to incrementally bump up a little bit to cover whatever the new costs are, but you don't have to just yank people's chain and just kill them, man.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
$14,000 fence better come with hookers and blood.
I'd say the biggest thing with inflation that's pissed me off here lately, and this is 100% first world problem.
Your
I already know
nuggets?
it. Well, I mean that, obviously, yeah.
Cost of food
nuggets
for his
too high?
emotional
No, dude.
support horse.
It used to only cost me $6 to get a 20-piece nugget and a large Powerade. But anyway, y'all know I fly all the time.
Right.
I've been flying with Southwest for years. I've got the Southwest credit card and everything. And
Okay.
Like,
You're a Southwest man.
oh, straight up. And like
Yeah.
I flew here yesterday for literally $0.00 because of like the points I have and all that
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
Yeah, but man, they got rid of the free bags, dude. So starting
Oh.
May 28th, dude, they're getting rid of free bags, and then next year they're going to assigned seating. I might as well fly Delta.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I
might as
mean,
well
for
fly
real.
Delta. Yeah. So I'm gonna move my card over to one of the other airlines. As
Man,
soon
it's crazy how much they charge for bags too.
Oh, dude, yeah, because like the whole appeal for Southwest for the longest time has been you get 2 free checked bags,
Right.
and you can sit wherever you want on the plane.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you could sit where you wanted.
Oh, it's open seating. You pull up early enough. Like literally yesterday, I sat in the front row both times just because I was the dude who was at the airport 3 hours before everybody.
You just like to be in the front so you can get off the quickest.
Absolutely, yeah. 'cause
Okay, I didn't know if you were hollering at the airline attendants or whatever. What's
No.
up, ladies?
No, I'm claustrophobic.
You know I'm a rock star, right?
No, I'm
Want to come see my emotional support horse?
Oh my god.
It's right here behind this barn door.
No, I'm just claustrophobic as hell, man. I got to get
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean? I got to get off the
Okay.
plane. But yeah, no, they got rid of the free bags, dude. And I'm just like, what the hell, man?
No, then
So,
it's no different.
Yeah,
right?
it's no different. man.
You say you're claustrophobic, so I guess those. You've seen those guys who go into these caves, into these tiny places, and
Oh,
try
fuck
to.
that. Yeah, I'd rather have a bubble bath with a toaster. Oh,
No, it's great. No, that's great, man. That's exactly the right response. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Because I've told people several times that
what was that?
it's pretty.
It's not me.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Do you hear it?
Oh,
It's a lullaby.
dude. That's how.
Oh, it's Rich's lullaby. Oh, his mom's calling, and that's the lullaby she would sing him as a kid.
No, that's what my brain sounds like when my emotional support horse shows up. Yeah.
So, I've said before, man, on those kind of caverns where those guys, I'd kill myself trying to get out.
Oh, dude, yeah, it'd be game over, man.
No,
It'd be game
don't
over.
let me get stuck because
Yeah.
I'm definitely killing myself. I'll fight. And
Oh,
just,
dude.
yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I don't do roller coasters. Like,
No?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I can't do that. Yeah.
And now I like some roller coasters. The older I've gotten, the less I've enjoyed thrill rides. They're not as thrilling to me anymore.
Like for me, something about just magnets and wheels keeping you on a metal track, dude. I just
Makes
don't-
you anxious.
Yeah, man. I just can't do it, dude.
Yeah, and some guy named Red with 3 chicklets is operating it. No, it's safe, boy. Get on there. Get up front.
I got a buddy named Red who lives in Nashville. I'm gonna send him that clip. But nah, dude, I can't. Like, I'm that dude that like if I go to like Disney World or something like that, I'm going to get like the souvenirs and I'm going to eat the food and all that and just hang out. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do the rides or nothing.
Not doing the rides.
Dude, there was one time when, like, so Magic Springs out in
Yeah.
Hot Springs, they've got this one ride that's like a pirate ship that goes
Yes.
back and forth.
Yeah.
I was about to lose my shit on that ride because I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
do
dude,
it.
I'm with you
Go
there.
way up like that. Yeah.
Because you're damn near going upside down, dude.
No, it does it.
Yeah.
Again, when I was a kid, all that was fun.
Yeah.
Now it's not as fun.
Yeah.
I was telling the story the other day that, I used to always go to the state fair as a kid, and I always look forward to it.
Yeah.
And my favorite ride, which has been there forever, is the Gravitron.
Is that the one where it spins you in a
Yeah,
circle?
that's right. And you try to move off the wall. You're like, oh, yeah, because you're all, pinned back with the G-force. I got on. I was so excited. It's me and Noah.
Yeah.
Noah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're both like, yeah, we're gonna do it, man.
Yeah.
And Tyler and Laura were all on there. The 4 in a row, so it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And about a minute in, me and Noah slow motion because that's the only way you can move. Look at each other, and both of us have the same look on our face, like, oh no. And when we get off, both of us walk off.
I'll tell you one. So at the state fair, I was probably 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And my stepdad, who, keep in mind, he's like a former rodeo clown, so he's done all
What?
the crazy stuff and all that.
Hold on. Don't just gloss over that shit, man.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So that ride at the state fair, that it kind of looks like a spider thing. Where
Oh, yeah.
where it's like
The scrambler.
Yeah, where it's like 4 different things and there's 4 different arms and it
Yeah.
throws you up in the air and it
Yes.
twists you all around. My stepdad, who never rides rides, was randomly like, fuck it, yeah, I'll go do that one. And so he gets on it and the thing comes undone while he's up there. So
Oh,
he
no.
has to like literally hold on
Oh,
to
no.
life like this.
Oh, no,
So-
that's a no-go,
so
yeah.
he came back down fine.
I'll tell you that happened to, and the video was somehow lost. I don't know how that happened, but Laura wanted to parasail when we went to Mexico,
Oh man.
and so I didn't want to parasail for whatever reason. I wasn't feeling it that day. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but that was her thing, and she really wanted to do it. So I said, well, let's do it,
Yeah.
And so they launched her up. Well, when she got up there, same thing.
Yeah.
It came loose. The harness did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
She was holding on for dear life. Let me tell you, the stream of curse words in that video was magical. It was absolute magic, and that video's gone. I don't know what happened to it, but she was so mad
Yeah.
when she got back down because it freaked her the hell out.
Oh, I bet you she went off on something.
Oh man, she was not happy about it. No,
Yeah.
she none too happy about that. You
Yeah.
know, and I get why. I mean, that'll freak you out on a ride like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
your stepdad was a rodeo clown.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, back when he was a lot younger and all that. Yeah, he was one of those. I don't quite know all the history on it.
Yeah,
Because he's just only told me stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the time he was in my world, I was probably 2-3 years old when I met him. You know what I mean? And he was already out of the game by then.
okay.
You know what I'm
So he wasn't a rodeo clown while you were a kid.
Correct. Yeah.
So what did he do when you met him?
Oh, so I mean, he was, he had like normal jobs and all that.
Oh,
at that
okay.
point and all that. So, because him
You
doing
just had
the
a stint with the rodeo?
yeah, straight up, because he grew up in Bismarck and Texas and a few other places.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the stories that like I don't know the specifics of any of them, but of course, bulls stepping on you or whatever, getting
Yeah.
thrown around by them and all that.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of stories from a rodeo.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
and every bone's breaking every day, and like he's already had one knee replacement and a back surgery, and I'm sure
Wow.
another knee replacement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you just never know.
man.
But with the roller coaster thing, man, as terrified of those as I am, I would still totally like take a ride up in one of like the Amazon rockets to space or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I would love
See,
to do something like that.
I saw all the hullabaloo about that. They went up and they spent 11 minutes. That's how long they were in, quote, space.
Oh, it was just 2 minutes they were in space.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe the whole
total
thing was
ride
11 minutes.
yeah.
Oh, man, that's even
Yeah.
the amount of money you're spending for that. I'm sorry, I can get zero gravity in my massage chair. You know what I mean? I'm not spending that kind of dough to go up there for a 2-minute journey into the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you're taking me to the space station or to the moon,
Yeah.
now that might be interesting.
Now, let me ask you this. To go to Mars, it's a 6-month ride one way. You got to hang out there for a year, and it's a 6-month ride back.
You ain't coming back, but okay.
Would you do it?
Would I do it? No, probably not because of the aging factor.
Yeah.
The aging factor in space. It's wild. If you look at the astronauts who were on the space station, they were supposed to be there 2 weeks, ended up 9 months, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the before and after on them,
Oh, it's wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
The gravity effect or lack of gravity, whatever it is that has that impact, is very dramatic. It's like when someone becomes president. After 4 years, you look at him and you're like, oh, shit, that really is stressful, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the color in your hair is gone. It's all gray. You look haggard. You look tired, except Trump. Somehow he continues to not look that way. I don't even understand how he's still going at his age.
Yeah.
Like an Energizer bunny or something. What about, are you a roller coaster guy, Rich?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I love coasters.
You and your boy hit them coasters.
Well, I mean, we're probably more this year because he's finally hit the height
the
limit
height.
where he can, ride the rides with Dad and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Are you looking forward to that?
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
excited about that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, does he want to do that, or is he scared? Do you know?
No, he loves it. We went to Magic Springs a few times last year.
Yeah.
And he rode, I think it was like the Big Bad John or something it was
Okay.
called, but it was like he
ride is
puts his
terrifying.
hands up and.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
That ride is terrifying.
Are you
man.
kidding me?
Dude, I rode
It's
that
just
one-
a hill.
Dude, I rode that one time. I thought I was gonna die, bro. I thought I was about to unsubscribe, man.
He rode the wooden roller coaster there and got anxious.
With one hill that goes like 60 miles an hour.
Man, have you ever seen
Your emotional support horse would go.
Yeah, in I don't know if it's Finland or I think it's Norway actually, but they have these. I get it's not exactly a roller coaster, but they're carts you get into and they're just tracks
Oh,
that
and they
go
go
down
down
the
the
mountain.
hill, yeah.
and they fly, bro. I would love to do that.
I'd be the dude going like 8 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Because you have that stick with it where you can control the speed and all
Yeah.
that. I'd be the dude just coasting.
What about like race car stuff? Would you want to do that? You just don't like going fast at all, do you?
No, man. I'm just one of those I'm just a chill,
Yeah.
the comfort zone's comfortable. You know
No,
what I
this
mean?
chair is the speed I need. I'm good. Yeah,
absolutely,
no, I'm fast as I'm moving's on stage playing an axe.
Dude, straight up. That's the most
Yeah.
cardio I get. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. So, by the way, I know that recently you played bass for another band, right?
Oh, yeah. I did a fill-in gig. So there's a couple different bands that I fill in on bass for sometimes. So that band Via Sky that I write for,
Right.
there's times they'll have me fill in on bass for videos or whatever.
How do you transition from? Is it that any good guitarist could play bass, or are you just lucky that you can do both?
Well, I mean, I can. So it's kind of both. So I can do both. You know what I mean? In the sense that I've played guitar and I've played bass, so I kind of know the mechanics of both. But at the same time, bass is kind of its own animal too. And so if you put me up against dudes who have only been playing bass and that's their craft, obviously they're gonna be light years ahead of me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you can definitely tell that I'm a guitar player playing bass. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, 'cause
I didn't know how
yeah.
much different it was to transition between the two.
You know, I mean, in the rock world, there's not as much of a difference. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you go into rock sessions now and you're recording a track, like, they're literally just, like, a lot of times it's not even real bass anymore. They're just, like, programming the bass with MIDI and all that. And
Oh,
using
yeah?
just the same notes as a guitar. But I mean, like when you get into other genres, when you're dealing with like pop or gospel or that kind of stuff, like there's definitely, it's a whole different world bass wise. And those dudes have chops out of this world that I could never touch.
So when you say like other genres, what in bass, what do you mean? You mean like bass, just regular bass guitar?
Oh, yeah, man.
Like you talking about like Flea, you talking about people like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, dude. Or if you get into some of like the Silk Sonic stuff, you know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Like just
the Bruno Mars Silk Sonic?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh, I
but,
love that stuff.
What is it? It's Bruno Mars and it starts with an A. What's the other guy?
I feel so
I
bad.
always forget his name, and he's really talented.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, so the kind of the funk bass.
Yeah, you know, like that's a whole animal in and of itself.
Yeah.
And then like, you know JC.
Yeah.
JC got his start playing bass in church.
Okay.
That's a whole other animal in and of itself too. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then country bass is a different thing. Like, you know, guitar, there's different worlds of it. You know what I mean? But then with bass, there's like truly different worlds of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you think that in a band, for example, like with Def Leppard, you know, they had two guitarists,
Yeah.
right? Is that advantageous in a band, or is that more challenging in a band?
I think in that particular thing, it's a band by band thing.
Yeah.
Because like there is something to be said for having two guitar players on stage and like hearing the rhythm thing. But now too with modern production, like, you know, for some bands it's just easier. Like whenever Vantage goes out and plays shows, we're gonna be a 3-piece. We're gonna do the Chevelle thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be Alex on guitar, it'll be me playing bass and singing, and then we'll have a buddy of ours filling in on drums.
Oh, you're going to play bass even?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's one of those that, like, for us, that's what makes the most sense. Because, like, with production and stuff, you can have enough layered in there to make everything still sound full, even with just 3 people on stage.
Right.
And,
Well,
like,
ZZ Top did it.
exactly. And then you go see someone like
Rush.
Shinedown. Rush, yeah. You know, like, you see someone like Shinedown, they're a 4-piece, but they've only got one guitar player on stage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, I don't know. Like, it's a band-by-band thing. And then you've got bands like Breaking Benjamin, who there's 3 guitars on stage at any time.
Really?
Yeah.
So bass and a lead and a rhythm.
Well, so there's bass, there's lead, there's rhythm, and then Ben's playing a guitar too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really it's all about what works best for the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just curious.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands and whatnot, we're going to take a break. But before we do that, I do want to mention this to you. If you're looking for, you know, some relief from anxiety, if you're looking for some relief from inflammation, a lot of people are, and a lot of people are getting past big pharma. They're looking into things that are more natural, and CBD is that thing. Now, listen, not if you go to gas stations. Don't be buying that junk, all right? If you're going to put something in your body, make it good fuel. Botanical Alchemy Nutraceuticals has sublingual CBD. It's professionally done. It's doctor-based, and you absorb 80% because you do it sublingual. If you take a tablet or a gummy, you absorb 20%, and you don't even know oftentimes what's in it. Is it consistent? It's coming from China, a lot of it. This isn't. It's right out of Texas, baby. And they can custom blend it to make those formulas stronger, weaker, whatever you need. And then every time you order, it's your recipe. Check them out online. Go look at them. They're worth checking out. It's bantx.com, bantx.com. If you decide to buy, put in PATP25, and guess what? That will get you 25% off. So that's pretty awesome. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be back.
I've been standing back and biding my time, knowing one day that you'd be mine. You had a wild streak you had to figure out, and now you know what it's all really about. If you're done with these boys who never become men, and you're ready for real, just let me know when. Not staying on the sideline, the violins. You boys had all kinds of solid opportunity, but you're all too busy just getting the right selfie. Hell, I don't even know where I put my phone. All I really know is I wanna get you alone. If you're done with these boys who never become men, and you're ready for real, just let me know when. Not staying on the sideline. Sorry, boys, cue the violins. I got a good job and I pay my bills. I don't need help getting over this hill. Baby, just let me know what time to be there. Tell them other boys, well, shit, who cares? If you're done with these boys who never become men, and you're ready for real, just let me know when. Not staying on the sideline line. Sorry, boys, cue the violins. Cue the violins.
You know what? As a real estate agent, I've seen lots of homes get caught up in probate. That's when somebody dies and they don't have a will. And the next thing you know, siblings are arguing over houses, possessions, cars, things like that. That is a nightmare you don't want any part of. You're going to need some help. You need someone with experience. You need Riggin Law. Okay, RigginLaw.com. Kristen Riggin there and her team are amazing at guiding you through this process. Look, you want to get what's coming to you, but you don't want to have to fight with everybody to get it. Just get Kristen to do the work for you. Go to RigginLaw.com. When you have questions, you have concerns about an inheritance, about anything like that, RigginLaw.com is the solution. Check them out. Have you been injured? You need an attorney with a passion for people and an obsession with justice. That attorney is Tim Reed in Little Rock. Look, they've won $1.3 million in wrongful death, almost $1 million in medical malpractice and in insurance dispute. These guys know what they're doing, but more importantly, he's not a figurehead of some kind. He's not just some person on a poster with a picture of a rig or a smile or his dog with him. This is a real guy you can text with, you can talk to, and who will take good care of you. He'll work with you personally to get what you deserve. Check out reedfirm.com, reedfirm.com, or give him a call, 777-7333. Yeah, let me just say that Gunner tells me, he said that I'm supposed to tell you to smash that like button.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he wants me to really give it gusto, and I'm like, I'm just, you know, hey, if you could go to YouTube and like us and follow us, that'd be great. How about that?
Yeah, no, man, that's weak. I liked it the first way. Got to add some. I agree with
that
him.
like button.
Right.
There you go. Hit it like that. Break your computer doing it and be happy about it.
funny.
Luke, you said you had a question for our commenters.
Yes, yeah. So if y'all remember, well, I guess they didn't see it the day that I was on air, but they saw the videos of it after. After we got off air the last time I was here in the studio, we went outside and we filmed some prank calls that Patrick and Rich did.
Yeah.
So I need y'all's help to think of more like prank call, like harmless prank, funny idea, like stuff in that realm. Think of some stuff, throw it in the comment section for me.
That we should do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah, throw your ideas. Best prank call ideas. Could be people, could be business, could be whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let it.
Well, and we're still going to go do the commentator.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely doing that. No, we're definitely going to do that. No, that's definitely coming up. You can bet on that one. Let's talk about this for a minute and just see what you think. I think it's a good starting point. as soon as I see the headline, sometimes I think it's, pretty bogus. And this might be one of those, but it'll be fun to talk about. It says, women reveal what they learned about men while dating. Right. It says, in this life, some things you can only learn experiencing firsthand on Reddit. That's where all good things are.
Some don't know anything about Harry Potter.
Now that we talked about you yesterday.
Oh.
Women were asked to share what they learned about guys once they got themselves a boyfriend. Here's some of what they had to say. Quote, sometimes they really do just think about nothing. No, it's true.
You know what, though? That is like the number one thing. Like, really, that is sometimes we just
Think
turn it
about
off and just
nothing.
go,
Yeah, no, my wife sometimes say, she's like,
about?
you've seen that movie before.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know I have.
Yeah.
I know how it's going to end. And that's why I'm watching it.
Yep.
I like it. It's easy. I can look at my phone too. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I'm having a good time. I'm just, blah, I don't care.
I'll tell you, my turn my brain off time is when I'm home in my apartment. I kick on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And
Yeah.
I just peace out, bro.
Yeah?
You just fly.
Yeah, I just fly.
How many hours do you think you've logged on the commercial flight simulator? Is that like an airline flight?
Oh, I mean, it's any of it. Like, so it's got.
Well, what are
all-
you flying normally?
Usually, it's like the little smaller jets. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
Like a Lear or something?
Yeah, well, even a little bit smaller than that.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I'll just go. Like, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times I've flown to Little Rock and Nashville and back on that flight.
Yeah. So when you're just up in the air, I mean, you're not really doing anything. Are you at that point? It's on the auto.
It's my turn my brain off.
Yeah.
time.
No,
You
that's
know what I'm
great.
saying?
You're just taking a ride.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a bowl of pizza rolls right here. And
Now,
I'm
how
just-
many times have you crashed? Does it let you crash? Can you crash?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it doesn't
can
look
you-
like
No,
it's
you don't
just kind
see-
of like the bounce thing, like that.
Oh, you don't see bodies flying. planes.
No, man.
I think it should be more
It's not like
realistic.
he's sitting there flying and all of a sudden like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a bad day today.
No, I want it to be realistic. Like, oh God, we're going down. All right, here we go.
Mayday.
The cool thing is you can fly that jet from Halo on Microsoft Flight Sim.
Really?
Since
Nice.
It's a
That's pretty
Microsoft game, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. Actually,
I do city skylines.
Oh, for real?
I like
what
to.
is that?
It's like you build like you build a city.
Oh, it's
so
like
you got to
The
do
Sims?
like sort of like Sim City.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to build the roads and all like the
Okay.
housing districts
yeah,
and all
that's
that.
definitely one of those that
Yeah.
gets your mind occupied and just zoned out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why video games are fun because you just kind of escape everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Women said they can move their wand while squeezing their butt. I don't know what that means. I'm not even sure what that means.
Yeah, you do. Come on now.
What does that mean? While squeezing their butt? What does that mean?
Just
I don't.
you ain't never made you've never made your wand dance a little bit or anything.
Oh, like doing the
like
the
flexing your
helicopter?
muscle down there a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, I get what. Okay,
can-
now I understand. Yeah, no, that is fun to do sometimes. You're right.
make it jump a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's especially fun when they don't expect it. They would rather break their arms than bring groceries in multiple trips. You're
Yep.
damn right.
Yep.
You see, I'm the opposite, bro. I'm one of those. I'll take my time with the groceries.
Oh no, I know.
No.
You're the waiter.
Yeah.
You're the one who's like, you're gonna get up and help, but you're gonna be third in line to help. No, you're third, so you get the Sprite and the bread.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many times I've just brought in the paper towels.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I'm saying?
yeah, that's you. You're the third guy. No, man, I will go out and I will load every bag onto my
Yep.
arms like this and walk in because I don't know
Have
why.
like the plastic bag, mark
Yeah.
going down your arms. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to make another trip. Absolutely.
I always do it because I never want to like accidentally forget anything in the car. So I know if I grab it all at once, I've focused and gotten it all in the house, and then I forget to put it
It's
away.
just a sick game to me.
It is, yeah.
It is. This I don't agree, but maybe I'm wrong. They love to have their hands in their pants. I mean, I know Al Bundy did, but I mean,
They talking about just like sitting at the
yeah, just sitting around with your hand in your pants.
no.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm sitting around a dude who's got his hand in his pants, I'm gonna be like, bro, what are you doing?
Right, for real.
Making me real anxious right now. This is
Stop
not going
looking
the
at me that
direction
way.
you want it to. I promise.
I need my emotional support horse.
Yeah. All right. How about this? How much guys struggle mentally and don't allow anyone to know about it?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a stereotypical thing, but yeah, of course. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do, I guess, in our minds, right?
Well, I mean, yes, I think that's also just been something that's been like really gaining traction as of late is men's mental health.
Oh, sure. Well, I think all mental health is gained, but certainly men, yeah.
But I mean, I can, I think I don't know, whatever.
They dropped the juiciest gossip and then claimed they didn't ask any details. Seriously?
What?
Do you gossip?
No.
Do you gossip?
I'm too caught up in my own
Right.
No,
and music.
Man, I'm just not a gossip girl. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, I might tell you something interesting if something just wild happened. But
Right.
otherwise, I'm not talking about all my people. Going, oh, if you take no, I don't want to do that.
Like if I hear like, somebody got divorced or split up or something, I'm like, oh, so and so, and they're like, oh my God, what happened? I don't know. Ask them.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I didn't ask. If I want to vent, I should preface my venting by letting them know I'm not asking for a solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't come complaining, and then all of a sudden we try to fix it, and you go, what are you doing?
Right.
Tell me.
I wish you'd just listen to me.
Yeah, just tell me. And Laura, she'll do that now. She'll say, I just want to vent, not asking you to do anything. Okay, that takes me off the hook, because if you tell me a problem, as a man, my first inclination is, let's solve it.
Right.
How do I solve this? How do I make it better for her?
Yeah.
So just tell me, don't make it better, because I probably won't.
How's the comment section looking on this one? I'm curious about
Especially if they ask you anything about, car repairs or anything.
Shut your mouth, man. Oh, my God, this is great.
Wait, what happened with car repair?
Oh. Thanks, Rich.
No problem, man.
So, I had this brilliant, look, here's what happened. My wife's Infinity, the starter went out.
Yeah.
Now, I knew that I couldn't see the starter, but I've changed, over the history of my life, many, many starters, and it was not a big deal normally. This one was a little bit bigger deal, so I called my buddy over. We watched a video.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, no, we can do that. And we talked about it. He goes, man, you might be able to pull it off in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 hours. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome, man. 2.5 days later.
Oh, God.
It took 2.5 days.
I can just see the look on Laura's face.
Oh, my God. She thought so many times I had screwed up. I was never going to get it back together, that I should have called a professional, which I probably could have. But it was $1,000 to replace it. And I bought a starter for $200.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's $800 I can put in my pocket and keep in my pocket.
Yeah.
Was it worth 2.5 days? I don't know. 2.5 days to get it out. It took 6 hours or less to put, not even that long, 3 hours probably to put it back together.
Well, yeah, you'd already, done the hard part. Now you just had to put it back where you found it.
I would say that of the 2.5 days, almost a day of it was the last bolt.
You know what's going to happen the next time you and Laura do stand up? Her bit is now going to be about
Yeah, probably would be. All the things I shouldn't be doing, that's for sure.
Little dog, you said, have us know you did a damn good job with that story.
Well, I appreciate that, kind sir. You're more than kind to say it. Let me tell you, it did go back together, and it does operate now, so that's good. It hasn't blown up or anything.
For how long is the question?
Well, that is the question, isn't it, sir? That is the question. So one thing this lady said they learned, their Franken beans float when they're taking a bath. Okay. How open they are about what happened in the bathroom after you get close enough.
Oh, I guess that means like
I don't know.
how your bathroom trip was.
No. Well,
Don't
okay.
you ever,
Yeah, sometimes my wife will tell me that kind of stuff. I don't usually tell her that kind of stuff, and I don't ever go around her. I can't, man.
Yeah.
I'm too self-conscious.
Yeah.
Now some people love to drop bombs on their wives. They'll play the Dutch oven game and all that. But that's not my style, because if it was done to me, I'd kill somebody. So I don't want to smell your ass.
You never gotten chub muffined or anything?
What's a chub muffin?
You don't know what a chub muffin is? Oh, okay.
Clearly, I just
That's
asked.
that's where you fart and you cup it in your hand and then you just shove it in somebody's.
We call that a cup of cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a cup of cheese. Cup of
Chub
cheese,
muffin.
we used to do that, yeah. Me and the boys used to do that. But see, that's different. Yeah, I wouldn't cup of cheese Laura. I would cup of cheese Noah and Tyler. Back in the day, anyway.
I know I keep on laughing over here. The car story gave me an idea.
What now? What is it? Luke and his ideas are going to get me so much in trouble.
For another piece of content.
Okay.
It's having you do repairs that you know nothing about and see what happens. But like we set up some type of thing where like if you get it wrong, there's like some I don't know what, but there's
No, some kind of punishment.
Yeah.
We could
No,
do
that's
we
funny.
could get Amanda to hook you back up to the cramp simulator.
Oh my
And
God!
every time you do
I
something
mess
wrong,
up-
yeah.
Oh my God! Do you know how difficult that would be?
Here's what you do. You gotta like fix a car, but the cramp simulator is gonna go off at a 10 randomly when you don't know it.
Yeah. No, and I'm telling you, when she was running that on me, she'd crank that up, and all of a sudden I couldn't. I'd be like,
I'm not looking forward to it, man.
I was like, yeah, it can't be that bad, can it?
How was it when you got? I remember the first time that me and Alex came through. You were supposed to get tased by a cop, and it didn't happen. What
No,
wound up
but
happening with
Amanda tased me with a regular taser. Now I have an officer who is actually willing to do it with the real deal taser. And so we'll probably later in the year pull that off. But it was terrible.
Yeah.
She hit me 3 times. I only asked her to hit me once.
Yeah.
And then she went again.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, and then she hit me again. And I was like, hey, you're going to get hit. You got to stop. 'Cause that does hurt, man. I mean, I'll tell you what surprised me the most was the other day. We had an MMA guy, David Dring, is it David or Danny? Danny Dring? David Dring? Danny Dring.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny Dring, that's right, Danny Dring. Amazing, man. His list of accomplishments in martial arts is so numerous.
Yeah.
I couldn't even begin to tell you. He's a legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he has a school. And so I was like, hey, man, would you be willing just to show people a couple of basic things, man?
Yeah.
And look, I'm not a small guy. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm not small, you know. In my entire life, I've never felt more debilitated more quickly than that dude did. Like, and he literally surprised me because there's a couple nerves here.
Yeah.
And so he was showing how to apply pressure to that. So at one point, he just hit it with his arm like, bam. He goes, did you feel that? And I went, well, fuck yeah, I felt it. I didn't mean to, but that's how it came because I was like, yeah, that hurts, man. But he would put me in this move where I was like this, and I couldn't do anything. And he's putting pressure right here, and I could just feel the lights getting dim. And I was like, please don't make me go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the speed and the strength. And he weighed 180.
Yeah.
He's my height, but his skill set, his core strength, and his speed were I watched it back and I was like, you can't even understand the speed watching it. It's so fast what he does.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That
He could have easily turned you into a ragdoll, had
Oh,
his
he
way
could have
with you,
done
and you
anything.
wouldn't even know.
No. He could have beat the shit out of me right there, and there was nothing I could have ever done about it. I'll tell you right now. He's that guy that you'd be a dumbass. Somebody will walk up to him, and talk mad smack because he's very unassuming looking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very muscular.
Yeah.
But he's not like The Rock or something.
Yeah.
He's just muscular and
He doesn't
clean.
have that intimidating factor as
not
soon
at
as
all.
you look at him.
No, he looks like just a regular nice guy, and then.
But that dude'll.
Yeah, no, man, you would never want to make a mistake and walk up on that dude thinking you're about to get something out of his wallet because he's about to send you
I
somewhere.
feel like
you
he
ain't
would be
been.
the guy that'd be like, you really don't want to do that, man. Just go away.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give you a second to walk away.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like in the movies, like, why don't you go ahead and walk away and let me save you some time. Go find someone else.
I know I'd be that guy
No,
if I was
Pops,
him.
I want your wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Here it comes.
That's
You ready?
funny.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna turn you into my billfold and put you in my pocket.
You're going to need an emotional support horse after this.
Dude, we've got to find a way to incorporate that into some content.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. All right, let's
Patrick's like, I'm over this dang horse. He's like, I get it, Luke.
let's do this. We got to do it when Luke's here.
Oh, yeah. We just replaced my singing with horse.
God damn
Listen
it.
up now, I'll tell you a story. Without a doubt, it's kinda gory. It's the worst news you could
I'll
ever
have Blake
hear.
make that
Things
today.
just like this make you fear. Lying lunched on a dumb guy's knee, or a big hard fuck drowning some money. Why you laughing? Why you laughing? offend. This shit ain't funny. What? This shit ain't
Well, it could be funny. In this case, it's pretty bad though. This one is.
Segue.
Yeah, no, I know. This one actually is just wild, man. It could even make you mad a little bit. A Texas mom and stepdad pleaded guilty to forcibly tattooing 2 children back in 2023. Police arrested Megan Farr and Gunner. Gunner.
Whoa.
In April 2023 for tattooing their kids 9 and 5. One child was tattooed on their foot. The other got a tattoo on their shoulder. Megan was charged with unlawful restraint, 2 counts of injury of a child. She pleaded guilty on Thursday to injuring a child. She'll be sentenced at a later date. Gunner faced 1 count of child injury and unlawful restraint. He was given a sentence of 2 years confinement. He was also sentenced to 5 years for each of the 4 counts of bodily injury. But officials said the Farrs restrained the kids with rope, sealed their mouths with tape, covered their eyes with rags during the process. The tattoos were discovered by the kids' biological father and stepmom, and the father confronted Megan about it, said Megan laughed about it, and drove off. So he called CPS. The parents tried to hide the tattoos by scraping, cutting, and scrubbing the kids. They also tried to remove the ink with lemon juice. Man, this ain't some kind of little science experiment. It appeared the flesh was removed from the body at the tattoo's location. This happened about the time CPS got involved. Someone came forward and turned in a tattoo kit she claimed was loaned to Gunner to perform the tattoos. She didn't know it was going to be performed on a child. 4 children taken into custody. Man, that's wild, right?
Man.
Just wait till they get to prison.
No doubt, man. They're going to get tattooed real special, like, aren't they?
That's crazy.
No, that's absolute insanity. I mean, why? What are you trying to do, giving your kid a tattoo like that? I mean, what's the whole value of that to you? To make them go? You're going to blindfold them, tie them up, do all that? I mean, damn. Man, there must have been some badass kids or something. You know?
Yeah, that's
I'm guessing.
wild.
I don't know. You think
I
they were
just-
bad
I don't-
kids?
Yeah.
There's just no scenario where, like, you know what I mean?
And that's what I'm,
No,
like
you're
where
right.
I'm going to, no.
You wouldn't make your son get a tattoo to toughen him up a little bit?
No,
You're going to get this tattoo. It's going to say Rich One Fall on it, and you're going to love it. No?
No. No, I
You're
can't
going to
imagine
get this
any
Vantage
scenario.
Ruins tattoo, son, right now. I'm your daddy. A former Duke University football player has confessed to killing his former high school friend and a Charlotte, North Carolina real estate agent, Whitney Hurd. Police found Hurd, 32, dead with multiple stab wounds in her home. They were responding to a call for medical assistance that afternoon. Her manner of death was ruled a homicide. Brandon Braxton, 33, submitted a written grievance stating, "I killed Whitney Hurd." When authorities discovered her in July, they noticed her vehicle and phone were missing. Hurd's neighbor saw a man drive her BMW away from her home that afternoon. Nobody in the passenger seat. The neighbor told police that Hurd never let anyone drive her vehicle. The police obtained a warrant, led detectives to her vehicle, which was collected and processed as evidence. They were able to locate her phone, but fingerprints from the vehicle were collected. But yeah, he smoked her, man.
I mean, any
Said
reason
in
why?
one.
Like,
Well,
I missed
I
that or
don't
something?
know, man. They apparently look. He was a wideout for Duke
She, like,
for several years, but
Intercept a ball
he
or something?
apparently, right? He fell asleep in Hurd's driveway drunk when she refused to let him inside. She called the police, told her family and friends he had tried to break in, and then in July he was arrested with larceny. Yeah, so apparently.
Oh, okay. So this has been like a
this
long.
has been ongoing for some length of time,
Right.
and just obviously ended up in a horrible way.
Something that, yeah.
Yeah. But man, you know, that's what happens when you root for Duke. I'm kidding. All right, let's see what else. These are all the worst though today.
Yeah, man. I mean, you
really
can't
are.
really like laugh at. They're like, dude, that's a horrible.
That was pretty horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can laugh. You're just going to hell.
I mean,
All right, let's try one more here. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Here you go. I don't know how this ended up here, but it works. The U.S. Department has issued a level 2 travel advisory warning travelers to think about going to the Bahamas twice. Violent crime, including armed robberies, burglaries, and sexual assaults, can occur anywhere in the Bahamas, according to the State Department. Travelers should stay alert in the, quote, over-the-hill area in Nassau, where gangs have killed residents. They should exercise caution at vacation rental properties where private security is not present. They recommend locking any door and window and not answering the door unless you know who's there.
Wow.
In addition to the crime,
I think I even want to go there anymore now.
right? They warned travelers of risk while boating and visiting the beach. They said watercraft may not be safe while some operators are not licensed or insured. They also say that sexual assaults by jet ski operators have been reported. Damn, not the jet ski
Right.
operator. You know, you want to ride the jet ski, baby?
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings. And then sharks. They've had an increase in shark attacks recently. The
I love how the shark attacks were like number 25 on the list, though. Like, if you make it through all the gangs and the skis
Yeah,
and
that's
everything like this,
Yeah, if you
you
don't,
still have a chance.
you aren't beaten, stabbed, or raped.
Right.
Just wait for the sharks.
Yeah.
The female swimmers at Bimini Bay, part of the westernmost part of the island in the Bahamas, were airlifted to Providence after being attacked by a shark. In December of 2023, a 44-year-old newlywed was killed by a shark paddleboarding less than a mile off the western end of the island. A month later, the shark bit the leg of a 10-year-old boy from Maryland while he was in a shark tank at a resort.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, lawsuit. Lawsuit.
For real.
I know you don't have a leg, son, but you're about to be rich. Congratulations. All right.
Just give it a few years, let it get real bad, then we'll start seeing like commercials and incentive packages.
Have you been
like, come to the Bahamas and visit. It's great down here. You know, free emotional support horse with
No,
everything.
man, God. I can't even control the show anymore. So we've got to end this.
So on the flip side of that, talking about the Bahamas and everything, I had mentioned this earlier in the show. I saw this on Facebook yesterday. They've come out with a public safety warning for Arkansas. Now I don't know if this is based off of the events that unfolded in Conway over the weekend, and I still don't know about that. But thoughts and prayers. But anyways, it says Arkansas street wars alert. To the youth and families across Jacksonville, North Little Rock, Pine Bluff, and West Memphis, please pay attention. There's a street war brewing across cities. The energy is tense. The code on the streets on site, meaning if someone sees their opportunity, it's go time. No talking, no warning, just action. So, yeah, basically they're saying be careful at parks, parties, kickbacks, clubs, community events. Watch your surroundings. Know who you're hanging with. And just be aware and out there. So
well, it's two events in Conway in just recent days from parties, and Tyler was thinking about going to one of the parties and changed his mind, and I'm glad, obviously, that he did.
Someone was looking out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is something heating up, and I don't know. Chad and I have been talking about it because he lives in Conway.
Yeah.
And it's really bothersome to him because his son is regularly at that park.
Yeah.
And so.
So that's always a worry. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a worry to people. And that there has been an uptick in some type of. Gang type activity again.
Going on just around there.
I don't know if it's a short term thing or if this is something that's been building and getting worse. But a lot of people, I can remember as a kid when they made that movie, I think it was called, it was a documentary, Banging in Little Rock.
Oh, okay.
Pause. It was not that kind of banging. It was about gangbangers. And, it was really bad. It was like Southwest was nearly uninhabitable for a lot of people because it was so violent, and everybody started moving. They finally got that under control, and it's been under control, I guess, to some extent for a long time, but it sounds like it's starting to pop off in other areas.
So you think could be like a resurgence of that?
I don't know.
I mean, I hate to say that, but
I hope not. I
Right.
hope it's not that, but unfortunately, I mean, some of these folks, they're indiscriminate when they start shooting. They don't give a damn about bystanders or anything else.
And that's kind of a different perspective, because when I read that yesterday, and from what I've seen, and again, I'm not in Conway, and
Right.
I don't, it's not like I go out there every day or anything. So I'm thinking, from what I saw in the videos I saw, it looked like a party where people decided to be stupid and start, shooting off and shooting people and stuff. And when I read that, Dustin said, "Rich, op means opposition."
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But that's when I saw that on Facebook yesterday. I was like, really? Like, who has time to be this stupid and dumb and have a street war? And everything?
Well,
but
look,
when you bring gangs into it, that's
knowing how much ammo costs. If you pop off several rounds, you got to really be pissed. because
Right.
That's quite an investment these days. That's a lot of money.
I mean, and yeah.
It's wild how
Yeah.
much it's gone up.
No, it is literally. We were looking at some ammo that was like $1 a shot practically. So you got to really want to put someone out. But yeah, it's scary if you're a parent, especially if you're a parent of a high school age kid in Conway right now.
Yeah.
It has to be terrifying. Because
Oh, absolutely.
our college kid is a lot of college kids. Yeah, I don't know exactly why it's popping off now versus any other time. I don't know why it's circling up like that.
Right.
But it is scary as a parent.
Well, nonetheless, be aware of your surroundings always,
Yeah, always.
If you have the opportunity to carry or whatever, then I suggest you probably take advantage of it. I mean,
Yeah. If you had a college kid, would you think they should carry?
absolutely.
Really?
I mean, I think anybody should. If you're,
Yeah.
really, I'm all for the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think if everybody was strapped, less people would pull straps?
I don't know that less people would pull straps, but I know there'd be a lot quicker answers than, the police response time and getting to an event of that person being dead and taken care of before they can hurt too many other people.
Yeah. No, and you may be right. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but that's scary if you're a parent, because I think 2 were dead and 9 wounded.
Yeah. Which is sad. I mean,
It is. It's horrible. I mean, it's absolutely frightening, especially for the people that live near that park and everything else. It's got to feel overwhelming. So my heart goes out to them.
yeah, absolutely.
Huge thanks to Luke Shoemaker coming in
thanks for
today
having
and
me.
having fun with us, man. I mean, always a riot to have Luke in and hear about the latest and the greatest in the music industry. Great, always having my partner Rich on here. He's
Absolutely, bro.
doing the job, and we appreciate that. Listen, I got to tell you guys, the Blocks is in May. That's when we're going. We're going to be gone for a week to Tulsa, and it is a huge opportunity for us in the state to be represented by someone who's not Cletus. You know what I mean? And so we're going to be on Amazon Prime, y'all. So we do have a fundraiser. We're just a few $100s away from covering our expenses as far as the hotel, the travel, gas, that type of the lodging.
And don't forget, if you pay him $5,000 for the fundraiser, he'll bring in a power slap person.
Well, I was just going to say,
Yeah, $5,000 will get you the Nathan Kirby power slap. That is correct. If you can do it as a group or you can do it as an individual. It doesn't matter. If you do it as an individual, you get 2 power slaps, 1 on each side. If it's a group, it's only 1. Okay.
and I heard we hit the $100 goal that I had set last week for the cramp simulator tomorrow.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Oh, actually?
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, bet.
Yeah, so I'm apparently Amanda needs to bring that in tomorrow.
That
If you're
is-
watching, Amanda, remember, because I'm supposed to get.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm going to enjoy watching that a lot.
I might just have
will
to swing
you.
by tomorrow.
hey, I meant to tell you,
Great. Please do.
I caught a clip yesterday of the new
Michigan quarterback for this year. So
Did you? What did
I'm
you
ready.
think?
I'm ready for our Ohio State game.
Yeah. Yeah, did they spend some
need to
in-out
start-
money to try to beat Ohio this year?
We've beaten them, man. We ain't got to try. We've been doing it for the last few
hold on.
years.
Let me pause. What happened this past season?
Hey.
Oh wait, I think Ohio State was the champion.
Yeah, but you didn't beat anybody in your conference.
I
to
beat
do it.
everybody along the. We ran the biggest gauntlet any team's ever run in college.
Okay. Yeah.
You look at that.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
You did
yeah.
do that. I'll
Suck
give you
it-
that. But
suck it
again,
long and suck
not
it
anybody
hard.
in your conference. 14-2,
Doesn't-
15-0. I'm
the,
just
the
saying.
national champ, Michigan, national nothing.
We were the year before.
Yeah, okay, but that's not this year.
What's their emotional
still-
support
we
horse program?
Right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, Rich needs one, clearly. Hey, as Gunner says, smash that like button for us.
Smash it.
Yeah, on YouTube. Go follow us on YouTube. Smash the like button. Do all those things you're supposed to do that are really hip and cool and help the show grow, okay? We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.